Hello and welcome to a very warm Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo, and this is Channel Sports on Sunday. There are days like this that you ask yourself, do we have enough time to do what we want to do? Because excitement galore. And when we do well outside, when the Nigerian is projected, then you become happier and happier and happier and said, yes, this is what makes us tick. This is why we are Nigerians. So we'll start with I want to start with those beautiful stories that we're glad I had. It's a Sunday morning. So there is no need in starting it in, with frowning or getting angry. Of course, the stories are always there. But we try and see how we can patch it. A great news throughout the week. Starting with Tobi Amusan, how much can we say of her? She went to the Athletics World Cup. Not just won the gold, but break the world record. She is a world champion. She is a world record holder. She went to the Commonwealth Games, got the gold, and she became the Commonwealth champion. She's already the Commonwealth gold medalist, and then we are now asking all that the African record holder, Nigerian record holder. Then she also qualified for the Diamond League. And then what happened there? She went there, and then they were saying Camacho was not there, and they went over it. She just went over and said, erased every thought and said, look, I am the best 110 meters hurdler in the world. And then she did that in great style, 12.29 seconds. That is obliterating the meet record. So she has the meet record now. She's the Nigerian record holder, like I said, African record holder, Commonwealth record holder, world record holder, gold, shining like the star. So I tell you this, there is nothing. We just cut it out and said the story is just beginning. Because it should not start and end with Tobi. How many of our daughters will be inspired by your feet? We should be telling your story so that the kids will be hearing you. We should be taking you to schools so that they can see you and feel you. They can understand. But let me say this, because with her winning, the Diamond League, defending. If there's back-to-back, she won it. She's the defending champion. By winning it back-to-back, it also goes with not just the flower and the trophy, but a cool check of $30,000. She has that. And Nigeria also have a because she has a wild card to next year's Diamond League. Nigeria has opportunity to present another athlete in that same event. Talk about windows opening. Talk about doors opening. And talk about, I tell you this, no better way to launder our image than to sing the national anthem where the whole world are there to listen. So Tobi Amusan did that, and she did it for herself. She did it for her state. She did it for Nigeria. She did it for Africa. And I tell you, we are so proud of her. Not living Tobi, and then we move on to another success story. What can you say about Daniel Igali? What can you really say about Dan Igali? Dan is who, from whatever angle you want to look at it, from his federation, the Wrestling Federation, to his state as a commissioner for sport. He was a member of the House of Assembly also. When he did so well in sport, his state has been excelling. The clubs have been excelling. Bayelsa United, they say, has been, while our male teams, I'm sorry to say this, but why our male teams have been struggling to play in the group stage of the Champions League, Bayelsa United is already there. Bayelsa Queens are already there. Of course, he made history when Bayelsa Queens and Bayelsa United won the ITO Cup for male and female. No state has ever done that in the history of this country. And then but this just happened. This just happened some hours back because he has just been elected as a member of, what do I say that, of the World Wrestling Bureau. That is where the whole, the cream de la cream, the top notches of all wrestlers of administration in the world converge. But I wanted to see, he was not just elected. I want us to look at the result of the voting. I want us to look at the result of the voting in that particular election, because he just dusted everybody. He just dusted everybody there. He has. Can we see that? Can we see the result of that election? I think is it there for us to see? I'm trying to see if I can get it here. Okay, yes, here it is. Here it is. vote close, elections of the bureau members, and then here you see it, majority number one. The man was the highest number of votes. I think about 16 of them contested. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. While some are getting 5 votes and 11 votes, Daniel Igali came tops with 83 votes, because only about 6 of them would be voted into that place. But he came first, ahead of every other person. The Greek Hamakos, the man from Germany, Dittman, who scored 81 votes, and then Pekalabu Razman from Romania, that guy scored 79 votes. Yaksi Rudika from Turkey scored 79 votes, and then Alif Namik of Azerbaijan scored 73 votes. So you can take it over there and say, going down, that the world has confidence in Daniel Igali. And then so when you do those little things around here, you don't know that from outside the world is looking at you. The world has recognized excellence, and that is what we are seeing in what Daniel Igali has just done. And the sweet music is not just ending with Igali in wrestling, because the one and only Oduayo, Adekoroye, just got hooked. She just got hooked. She's been dominating wrestling, and then there she is. Congratulations, Oduayo. She is now married. That will not stop her from bringing more gold medals for Nigeria, whether it is in African Championship, the Commonwealth, or the Olympics. She's going to get that there. She was almost getting that gold in Tokyo, and then it just slipped out of her. But then right now she's settled with her heart throb. So when you are leaving home now, you are happy. When you come back, somebody's with you, and that will spur her to greater height. Haruna Kadri, how can we stop celebrating this? Can we talk about Kadri? Let's talk about Haruna Kadri also, because it's good news everywhere. Haruna Kadri just went to the Africa Senior Table Tennis Championship, and bam, got defeated his closest rival, Omar Asa, and then that is the tweet from there when they are talking about him winning that championship. So not only did he do that, win the championship, if you check the podium for the podium lineup, you are going to see that Kadri is there as number 1. Omar Asa is took a silver, but bronze medal is Meti Taiwo. So Nigeria picked both a gold and a silver at the Africa Tennis Championship. So tell me this, Diamond League we are winners, World Wrestling Bureau we are winners, table tennis we are winners. So this is a very, 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 very much winning Sunday. It called for celebration. It calls for moving on, and then that is what we are doing here. But that is Haruna, and that is Meti Taiwo. Omar Asa is also there, and Bulusa Medi. This tournament took place in Algeria, so Nigeria is ruling in table tennis in Africa, courtesy of Kadri. It's going to be a beautiful day. But then, because there is no week we come here that one bombshell will not come out, because the Federal Ministry of Sport have just said, LMC, the league management company, has been running the league for about 10 years now. It's illegal, and then the federal government has withdrawn recognition, and then they should wind up and then hand over back to where they started from. I mean, there was the Nigerian Premier League, not the MPFL, and then they had issues with themselves. They went to court. It was settled, but then the minister then, in his own wisdom, felt football was not going very well the way he thought, and then dissolved the board. They dissolved that board, formed an interim management committee, gave them a tenet, gave them in terms of reference, 6 terms. The terms of reference were just 6, which they gave to them. That this is what you are going to do. Finish the league. Arrange. Look at their statute. Try to make it position the league, and then arrange elections. I mean, sometimes we are quiet in these things. Give the league back to the owners. You are there for 6 months. Do it and get these things done. But then that was not what happened. The LMC transformed into the IMC transformed into LMC, and that is what we have today. But then the minister have said this LMC is not known to the laws of Nigerian football, and it is illegal. And I will not talk about how they have fared. It is left for you guys to open the lines to tell us what you think the LMC has done. But the minister have said we are scrapping the LMC. We are going back to the IMC, and then they will now do the normal thing that people probably go back to the terms of reference that the original IMC was given, arrange, put the house in order, reposition the league and get elections done into the proper, because the league belongs to the owners. It doesn't belong to the NFA. Is just a superintendent. You don't tell them what to do. FIFA also alluded to that. We shall give you all that. A lot needs to be said today, because also today is you remember that at Flushing Meadows right there in New York, it is the final. It is the final of the U.S. Open, the fourth big one of the year. You start from Australia, you go to Roland Garros. From there you go to Wimbledon, and from Wimbledon you go to New York. And right there at the Flushing Meadows, yesterday I was rooting for Ons Jabeur. She didn't make it in Wimbledon, played to the final and lost, and she also played in the final right there in the U.S. Open and also loved. She lost to Iga Swiatek. She is the world #1, and then so you can't take that away from her. But then somewhere along the line, Africa is moving on, and we are getting there. And then the other African player, of course he's not African, but his parents emigrated from Sierra Leone, and they went to the US. I'm talking about Francis Tiafoe. He also played to the semi-final, but lost to Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz, we are saying, is the new deal. He is the new Nadal. He played with so much passion, so much pace, so much power, and then you ask yourself, goes 5 setters, and you think the guy can go in 10 set, in a 10 set. But today he'll be taking on Kasparov, the man who lost in the final of the French Open this year to Nadal, when Nadal won his number 22 of the big ones. So that will be what is going. That is how we want to go. But then the NFF elections is right by the corner, starting on the 30th, of September. That is when they are going to hold the elections, according to the AGA. It was supposed to take place on the 20th of September, but it was moved forward for 10 days because the time was not enough for them to organize whatever. That a lot of issues, because even this AGA that was held would have been held December 2021 if not for the court cases. I mean, they agreed something. A lot of things were done, and they okay, pull your case out of court so this thing can go on. But what is the position? But then we want to some of the gladiators, some of those who say, look, I am good enough to be the president of NFF. I'm good enough to reposition football in Nigeria. And so we're going to have a talk with them right here. So wait. I want to see who do we have right now. Let us start, because if we can go straight to our guests and see and talk about the NFF elections. Do we start? Okay, all right. We have in the studio Abba Mukhtar Mohammed. He is the FCT, the chairman of the FCT Football Association. He will join us from our studio in Abuja, and a one-time Secretary General of the Football Association in Barrister Amusan will be right there in Kaduna. I think I spoke with him briefly. He will also will join us from Kaduna. And then these are men who says we want to represent football in Nigeria. But let's start. I think let us go to Kaduna. Let's start with Barrister Musa Amadu. Let's start with Barrister Amadu. Barrister Amadu, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. And it's a privilege to have me on this program. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes. Before we go to meet Mukhtar right there in the studio, in our studio in Abuja, I want to ask you this: your position as a former Secretary General of the FA, how has that positioned you to say, okay, this is what will make me a competent and then an achiever if I'm given the opportunity, to be at the helm of Nigerian football? Who is Barrister Musa Amadu?
Well, Barrister Musa Amadu is a seasoned football administrator. And I want to say here that I'm the most successful General Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation. Within the tenure in which I was the General Secretary, from 2010 to 2015, we were able to deliver on a global stage 13 trophies. And I want to say that I have seen it all. I started working in the Nigerian Football Federation in 2007 as a Deputy General Secretary. And I was the person that took the team to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Korea, where we won the trophy against Spain with the likes of De Gea. So I have understudied the General Secretary for a period of 3 years before I became the General Secretary in 2010. And the highlight of my career as the General Secretary was when Nigeria lifted the Africa Cup of Nations in South Africa in 2013. And I believe that I know the terrain very well. I've administered the game at the highest level in Nigeria. And it is time for me to now step in and position myself as the president of the Federation to be able to deliver more glory to this wonderful country of Nigeria. And I know that if given that mandate, I'll be able to bring back the glory days of Nigerian football. I'm actually also the first Nigerian to have the FIFA Masters, which I had in 2002. I have a master's degree in law, management, and humanities of sports. And because of the skills and competencies and the administration of the game that I've done at the highest level in the secretariat, I know that I have the pedigree to be able to step into the shoes of Amaju Melvin Pinnick and continue with the progress of Nigerian football.
Okay. I've taken that with you. I would have loved to continue with you for that, but let us just take Mukhtar so that we can have a conversation. Hello, Abba, how are you?
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Okay.
I'm honored.
You're honored to be here. All right. We're also honored to have you guys right there on this show because Nigerians wants to know, and they say our passion is in football, and how is going to be run in the next 4 years is what every Nigerian is looking at. But let me ask you this: you are the chairman of the Football Association of the Capital Territory in Abuja, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long have you been the chairman of the FCT chairman?
This is my 3rd year, and despite COVID, it has been a successful 3 years so far, with a lot to show for it.
Okay, I don't want to ask you what I ask, Barrister Madu. But let me ask you this. What you see? What have you done in the FCT since you got in there? We'll talk about your personal competence and your personal, who you are, your educational background, what prepares you for this. But since you became the FCT chairman, what have you been able to achieve something, transform football in Abuja that will make Nigerians, okay, we have the confidence in Abba Mukhtar Mohammed that he has done this, and based on what he has done in Abuja, he can now translate that at the national level. What have you done? What have you done with the responsibility?
Thank you very much, Ken. This is a very good question, and it's not easy to blow your trumpet, but I would say that my work is there for everybody to see. My 20 years in football, I'm a grassroots person. I was the vice chairman for 4 years before I assumed the chairmanship. And in my 3 years, I'll tell you that I made promises that I fulfilled all of them. First, I said I was going to train coaches to boost the human capital of the FCT, because without the coaches, you cannot train the players. And we've done that. We've trained over 150 coaches from across the 6 area councils through the NIS and various programs. We brought Bayern Munich to Abuja. They came with the Bundesliga Cup, and we did a coaching clinic where over 30 coaches benefited. And in fact, a young player from Abuja has just been signed by Bayern Munich as the first African directly from Nigeria to sign for Bayern Munich, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And they've given him a professional contract. So those are results. And then I promised that I want the Super Eagles to come back home to Abuja. And fortunately for us, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Sunday Dare and Alhaji Aliko Dangote heard our cries. And as we say, the rest is history. The Super Eagles have come to the Abuja Stadium, and it's live and kicking again. And I promised that I was going to work on facilities. And all the facilities in Abuja have received an uplift. And we've built a new stadium in Buari, one of the area councils. So what we have done is we have taken football to the grassroots, and that's our ambition. So we have changed the whole image. Because I tell you something, Ken, football is first about the image, your reputation. So once you have a leader or a team that people believe in, then you can organize a proper league. And that's what we've done. We've organized the best league in the whole country. You can ask anybody. And we put a prize money, we arrange it properly, and we proved ourselves.
Okay, we want to go on a very short break because I know I took the, time for a lot to do other stories. We're going to come back. When we come back, you talk about your league. I will also go back to Barrister Musa Amadu and let him tell us what he thinks the state of football in Nigeria is presently. Stay with us. How do I say this? Two very competent Nigerians who are saying, want to step into the shoes of the outgoing president of Nigerian Football Federation. Of course, like we know, it is either the NFA or NFF and stuff. Oh, okay. In Nigeria, it is, the Nigerian law says it is NFA. Barrister Amadu is actually a lawyer, because a barrister. Probably he might clear the air on this. But we also have Ope in the house. At least I would have gone to him. Ope, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken, for having me. A very bumpy, toughy week for Nigerian football. NFA trading as NFF, so 6.5 dozen.
6.5 dozen. Okay, the same government who says we recognize the NFA, and they came up with, through the Federal Ministry of Sport and came out with a bang some hours ago. And this is what they said. Maybe where we take this press statement that the federal government declares LMC illegal.
Okay, in view of the several unpleasant incidents regarding the management of the Football League, specifically the declaration of the National Football League, NFL, as an illegal body by the court, the status of the League Management Company, LMC, the NFL successor entitled to being outside the purview of the status of the NFL, the federal government is constrained to withdraw its recognition of the LMC as the operator of the Nigeria Professional Football League with immediate effect. This decision has become necessary because of the obvious aberration, which is at variance with our football status or the laws of the land, whereby a private company is gifted, in capital letter, the mandate to manage or run the league indefinitely without the full involvement of and leadership of the clubs and devoid of any process to monitor the progress and development of the game. Sequel to the above, and in order to rescue our domestic football from total collapse, the board of the LMC and the LMC as a body will no longer be recognized by the federal government as operator of the Nigerian Professional Football League. To avert further chaos in our domestic football, the NFF is advised to immediately withdraw the license given to the LMC and in the meantime set up an interim management committee, IMC, to include the current chief executive officer and chief operating officer of the LMC to oversee the affairs of the league until a proper professional league board is constituted in accordance with the status of the NFF. Signed, Ismaila Abubakar, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, Abuja, Nigeria, September 9, 2022.
Okay, that is the statement. Let us go to Kaduna. I think we have. I want to start with Barrister Musa Amadu. Hello, Barrister Amadu. Are you there?
Yes, Ken, I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to touch on this?
Well, it's really part of the issues that we have with the governance structure of football in Nigeria. The legal framework of the NFF and the leagues themselves have been called to question several times. And this is the reason why we have come to where we are today with the Federal Ministry of Sport declaring on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria that the LMC license has to be revoked and for the NFF to use their best endeavors to ensure that an interim management committee is put in place with the clubs themselves, working together with the CEO to now run a proper league. It's part of the issues we discussed in the 10-year football master plan, the legal framework of not just the league, but also the legal framework of the NFF has to be revisited, and we have to take a decision. Because if we don't have a proper structure for the governance of football in Nigeria, these sort of issues will always arise. I believe that in the few weeks to come, the NFF, together with the stakeholders, particularly the club owners, would adhere to the advice given to them by the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Sport for the proper thing to be done with regard to the legal structure of the Premier League.
Okay, let me stick with you before we go to Mukhtar and ask him a similar question, or based on from what we are discussing here. What is your take on the state of football in Nigeria vis-a-vis world football? And let me ask you this, because we're all aware that the AGA that just took place last month would have taken place in July. And then because of the case that was filed by the players' union, some members of players' union, it was delayed for almost a year. Now, do you support, because even the government have said they want to expand the AGA, that 44 members is not a true representation, that is government, of what those who presiding on football in Nigeria. Do you support the expansion of the AGA?
Well, the Congress of the Nigeria Football Federation, as presently constituted under the 2010 NFF statutes, has 44 members.
Yeah.
44 members made up of 37 state football associations and the FCT, the four leagues, and then the 3 other professional bodies of players, coaches, and referees. That makes it 44. Now, when the 10-year football master plan committee sat, we looked at the whole structure and we were of the belief that the state football associations have a larger number than the other stakeholders, and we need to have a situation where all members are equally represented in the Congress so that everybody has a sense of belonging and for us to now carry everybody along. And a situation where one stakeholder, the State Football Association, has more members and can, get elections to favor them because of their sheer number, is not good for the development of football. And that was why the committee recommended that it has to be expanded to 111 members, made up, of course, with the 37 state football associations. 20 Premier League clubs will come in, 12 from the National League, 12 from the Women's League, 12 from the Nationwide League, and six members in the other referees, coaches, and
the Players' Union.
Players' Union.
Okay.
And then you have 111. And if you want to be the president of the federation, you should be able to, convince the 111 stakeholders that you are the proper person to run football in Nigeria. But the situation now is, unfortunately, the state football associations are in total control of who becomes the president of the federation. And we need to dilute that number so that other stakeholders also have a say, and they are confident that the democratic process, in which everybody is equally represented, will show in the Congress, particularly with regard to the number. And I want to say also that this was one of the main thrusts of that master plan, that we need to expand the Congress so that everybody has a sense of belonging. And I think it's long overdue that we do that for the good of the game in Nigeria.
Okay, I want to use this question before I thought I would just ask Mukhtar this, but let me just ask you because it is a connecting question. Do you see yourself, if for the 4 members are to vote, do you see yourself disadvantaged because you are not in the constituency of the FA chairman?
Well, I need to say that I'm coming from a position of disadvantage, but I want to convince the State Football Association that we can work together and make things differently. And these state football associations are the proper and appropriate stakeholders to drive grassroots football development in their states. And they can better do it in their states, not on the board of the federation, because their biggest problem is funding. How do they have funding to now drive their programs and activities? They need to think out of the box. They need to know that if they have a clear-cut program and activity and the benefits that would be derivable thereon, they can convince the state governments, their various state governments, to put in XX million naira every year for grassroots football development in their councils. And they can also get sponsors from companies that work within their states who can do corporate social responsibility and support them with putting infrastructures, that will derive, get us to bring talents from the grassroots, develop and nurture them. And these state football associations would be actively involved in the running of the game in their states because they have the funding to be able to do all the programs and activities that they are supposed to do and they are mandated to do. And I think we will be able to convince them that we need to do things differently. We need to empower you. This master-servant relationship that you have at the moment between your state football associations and the FA must come to an end. You are partners in progress, and your best position is in your states. You will be able to now do council leagues, state leagues, bring out talents, take those talents out of your state to clubs in other states. These talents would also be professionally trained and play outside the country. The benefits are so immense that any state government that you go to with this program will be convinced to partner with you so that we can now nurture and develop grassroots football development. This is where the State Football Association chairmen are very, very useful in their states, not on the board of the federation.
All right.
At best, we should have like 6 state football associations on the board of the federation, not the situation where we have about 12 out of the 15 board members. This is what we're saying.
Let me go to Mukhtar. Mukhtar is coincidentally, Mukhtar, you are a state FA chairman. Because in this case, like I asked Barrister Amusan if it's a disadvantage to him. I don't know if it's an advantage to you because we have about 2 or 3 other FA chairmen who are contesting. But do you see that being an FA chairman is advantageous to you in this contest to become the president of Nigerian Football Federation?
Good question, Ken. First and foremost, before I answer that question, what I would tell you is Nigerians want somebody a fresh face, that will come and give them results. They're tired of hearing rhetoric, talk, so they want somebody who has a well-rounded knowledge of the game, who understands the business side of football. Football is a business, and we've been running it otherwise in Nigeria. You find out that the main actors of the game are the players, but we relegate them, and then you see the NFF always in the news being talked about. There's one issue or the other. All these issues, Ken, that you're talking about, the agitations from the stakeholders, these are ex-players because things are not right. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Everything is not going well, and that is why federal government has seen the problems and has started with the league. But the league has 4 other leagues that have similar issues as well. So you talk about players wanting a stake. Why are they agitated? We need to listen to the issues. So the way I see it is, I understand football and how it should be run properly so that it's sustainable. But every day it's about money, the lack of sponsorship. Why would a sponsor, Ken, give you money if you're not credible, or if you cannot show him why he should give you the money and what you have used the money for? So I think government has decided that football should be run as a business, not as a sport or recreation, and that is all part of the plan that the Honourable Minister is setting out with the master plan, so that we have a blueprint, a foundation that will build upon up. But now what we need is, I'm an FA chairman, but where did I come from? I used to be in the football business, and I've been very successful in developing players from the grassroots all over the country into the national team and to Europe. And Nigerians want to see success. And the correlation between success and NFF is evident for everybody to see that. You need to develop the next generation of players. You need to have the right facilities. You need to attract the right sponsors and partners for you to have that success. And Nigerians are tired. We haven't had success in a very long time, and they just want results. We've talked too much. We've done a lot of sitting, talking, committees, but now we want somebody who can lead the NFF with a fresh start that can bring about those basic changes, what Nigerians are asking for. Because the NFF is an organization that is holding in trust. They're supposed to be servants, you know, but you tend to see that there's more talk from that. And to your question that you said, am I at an advantage? Well, I don't know, but I still preach to the FA chairman that the responsibility is lying on their shoulders, and Nigerians are watching and expecting them to do the right thing. So let them choose the best man for the job. It doesn't have to be from within or without, but choose the best person that understands the problem, that can solve the problem, that has the knowledge and the commitment to come in and get everything right.
Okay, it is instructive that you are using the word them, because you are part of them in this context. But let us look at it.
No, but I don't have a vote, so they will
you
vote.
You also have a vote. You are your colleagues
As a contestant.
Okay, I agree on that. But you talked about funding. Have you been experiencing, how is the FA, Abuja FA funded?
So, like I tell people, I hear people talk about money, money, money. But Ken, trust me, with football, look at all over the world. The Premier League is always a good example. How do they attract money? Or even take the South African League. They attract money because they have a good product. So if you're asking corporate Nigeria to sponsor you, what are you offering them? What product do you have? And what are you giving in return? So we have to get things right before we talk about money. And that PR, that image, we need to get it right again, because Nigerian football is badly battered. So you need somebody that oozes that confidence. The money will follow, Ken. So the way I see it is a direct relationship. Once you have the right team of people there, and they've started doing the right things, putting the right foundations, the money will follow.
Yeah, moving from Abuja to the national level is like a big leap, because Abuja is not as big as other states and stuff like that. So people will say that. Of course, it doesn't really matter, because I remember some years back when President Clinton came from the small state of Arkansas and then won the presidency of the United States of America. People say, what you did there is small, so whatever it is. But like you said, I believe in rewarding people based on what they have achieved. Now, what template, what have you achieved in Abuja that you believe that I can replicate this at the national level? And what do you think are the major challenges facing Nigerian football now?
Okay, I will tell you something, Ken. That's a very, very good question. I've discharged myself very, very well in terms of the promises I've made. And I'm very pragmatic in the sense of approach. The problems of Nigerian football are basic. We don't need to even go deep, being scientific or going far or comparing ourselves to the bigger nations around the world. We need facilities, and we're able to provide that. and it has enhanced football in the FCT. And like you said, the FCT is a convergence of everybody. Abuja is the melting pot. It's the heart of Nigeria. So everybody is well represented here. And if you're able to carry everybody along and run football in a well-structured, proper manner, then I think I am well positioned to be able to do that in the country. And like I said, if you discharge and allocate the jobs properly, that people will handle what they need to do and you don't interfere, then your job is easy. But once you're at the top and you want to do everything yourself or you want to be the center of attraction, I think the NFF should pull back a bit, and all they need to do is support. Let the players, let the leagues, let the referees be the center of attraction. Let them take charge of football. And then you provide the policies, the plans, and you ensure they're implemented properly. So I think that all the promises that I made to change football in Abuja, which is like the league. We've re-energized the league. There's a prize money. Sponsors came. And Ken, we didn't collect their money. What we've said is, okay, let's do a partnership that will build a trust. We will not collect a dime from you, but every partner should decide what they want to contribute to the league, to the FCT league, and then they do it themselves. So you see, there's no problem of transparency or accountability in terms of the fund. And the next year, it improved, and the trust improved, and then we got a better league and better sponsorship. So it's work in progress. You can't come in and do it all at once, but build the foundations, build the trust, repair your image, and then you give the league and grassroots development to take center stage, and then you begin to see the confidence. And we've had an influx of teams from other states coming back to the FCT. We've had an influx of international scouting events. Why? Because we've given the enabling environment. The pitches are available, the FA supports, we don't antagonize, and we see ourselves as servants of the people. So I think that is just the approach. It's not a difficult approach, but once you have that mindset and that commitment, you begin to see things change.
Okay, I want to go on a final break. When we come back, I will ask both of you one closing question, and then we shall end this discussion. Stay with us. It is the Channel Sport on Sunday. And then, yeah, it is the NFF elections, and this is the season. Go nowhere. All right, you're welcome back on our last leg. I want to speak with Abba. I want to speak with Abba before I go to Barrister Musa to round up. Abba, because we are running out of time, can you briefly talk to the delegates so that also who we want to vote for you, we want to get an opportunity to talk to them briefly while we are closing.
Well, thank you very much. All I can say is the delegates have the responsibility of 200 million Nigerians that love football so much, that care about football, that are yearning for Nigeria to be very successful, that are remembering the glory days and want that to come back. So therefore, it is a responsibility to take a deep breath and realize we are at a crossroads that we need to get it right now. And the federal government of Nigeria has supported sports so much, and the Honorable Minister has done so much to ensure that football even gets an upper hand. So we need to get it right as a Congress to choose somebody who will lead the NFF into the next generation of success. Somebody that they can trust, somebody that is credible, somebody that has knowledge of the game, and somebody that will hold that trust and ensure that the right things are done so that we can begin to see the fruits of that labor. So I call on everybody to ensure that they come together and take the right decision to make Nigeria great again. Thank you.
All right, that is Abba Mokhtar Mohammed. He is the FCT chairman of the Football Association chairman. Let's go to Kaduna now, and let me meet Barrister Musa Madu. Barrister Madu, have you campaigned to? Have you called Abba to ask him to vote for you? He is voting. Have you called him to do that? Have you?
Well, I've actually discussed with Abba, even before he declared that he was running.
Okay.
We had a lunch date together. We sat down. We discussed the state of our
Wow.
football, and we were all, in agreement that we need to change the narrative. Things have to be done differently, not the way we have it today. I know we have mutual respect for each other. We are partners in progress, and I'm sure we will be able to work together for the good of the game in Nigeria. He's a very young, astute administrator, and I know that he has a lot of years to give for the growth of the game in Nigeria, not just in the FCT. But I believe that the time is not yet right for him to come to the national level, and that if we are able to give them that support, to be able to make what they are doing in the FCT and other state football associations, if we're able to make funding available to them, we should be able to make them very, very busy to nurture, develop, and discover new talents for this great country. So my focus and my prayer
Question.
to
Sorry,
the
Brother
State Football
Samadu.
Association.
Sorry, I want to interrupt you on this because there is a question I wanted to ask that I have not asked, and I needed to ask that particular question. You were in the secretariat of the FA, and then Abba talked about transparency and other things. I remember in 2014, after the 2014 World Cup, Nigeria earned about $8 or $9 million, and I know we had issues. You understand? How have we been spending? As the secretariat, you should know, how have we been spending the monies that have been coming from FIFA while you were the secretary, the secretary right there in the FA?
Well, let me start with the 2010 World Cup that was held in South Africa.
Yes.
I think by and large we had a gross of about $8 million that came in. It was netted off before the funds were sent to the federation, and I know that what happened was that the whole monies were now channeled back into football development in various areas. But the players themselves were able to get 30% of those monies.
Okay.
That was what was allocated and agreed before the World Cup. And every player that played in the qualifiers right up to the World Cup we had in South Africa was able to get what was due to him. 30% of the monies coming from FIFA as participation fees was what was given to them. And I believe the same was agreed for the 2014 World Cup, and $3.6 million was supposed to be paid to the players and officials of the team after the World Cup. But issues arose in Brazil in 2014 where players demanded that the 3.6 million naira should be given to them before their, round of 16 game against France. And Mr. President, then Goodluck Jonathan, had to get $3.6 million across to them before they could train and play the game against France in the round of 16. And that created a lot of crises and problems. And this was why we didn't qualify, out of the round of 16. So, because those monies were meant for every player and official that participated for the qualifying rounds right up to the World Cup itself in Brazil. And I don't know how the funds were eventually spent with regard to the balance of the monies, because in March 2015, I had to resign my appointment, and leave the federation.
To your knowledge, you've just told us the Goodluck Jonathan administration, gave you $3.6 million, which was the share of the players. Was that money returned to government when the $8 or $9 million was received from FIFA?
Yeah.
Hello?
I had to leave my office because $3.6 million was an intervention fund that was appropriated to Mr. President to intervene in any sporting emergency, to defend our budget in March 2015. We were told $1 million because it has already been appropriated and it's from a funding that has already, intervene in any sporting emergency. And, the leadership felt we don't need to return the money. And, under those circumstances, I was given, the option to resign my appointment. And I had to leave because the proper thing needs to be done. We were looking for funds to do our programs and activities, and here we are trying to return monies which governments appropriated. It's your funds to use for your programs and activities. So this really was the crux of why I had to, unceremoniously leave the federation in 2015.
So
and
you resigned because you
that's
wanted.
all I can say for now.
You resigned because you wanted the money to be returned to government.
I didn't say the money should be returned to government. Government, we went before the National Assembly.
Yeah.
$6 million that was given to the Super Eagles in 2014 for the World Cup to enable them play the round of 16 game against France. It was a gift from government to the team, like a grant for them to play the game, and qualify for the next round. But the that time and was insisting that the money should be returned. And we will not have to return these monies to the coffers of the federal government. Instead, you should activities, and because we were at the National Assembly to defend our border, you want to return monies when monies were not enough for you to run your programs and activities.
Okay. We're having, yes, we've been having some little challenges with your audio. Just take a minute to round up, just like the way Abba did, and then so I can wish you guys luck in the next elections.
Okay. For me, it is our passion, and it's a major tool for our unity, and it is our responsibility to safeguard it and to nurture it. And we have to return, to the path of the glory days that we had for Nigerian football. Plan. We need to develop the youths from the grassroots, and we need to give everybody a sense of belonging. Associations for them to be able to do that which they are entitled to do for the growth of the game in their various states. And we need to now lay that foundation that will make every, move in the same direction, because police is a national asset. And we are holding that national asset
trust
of 200 million Nigerians, that are saddened that in 3 months' time, we are number 4 in Africa and number 31 in the world. And we need to be 20 teams in the world. And this is where we have to go. And days. And I will be in a position to do that because I've done this before, and I'll be in a position
to do it again
and get it right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister Amusan Madu. I want to thank you guys for being part of the show today, and I wish you guys luck on the 30th of September elections for the presidency of Nigerian Football Federation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I know we had a little bit of audio challenges at the tail end of the show there, that interview. Okay, because we don't have much time. I know probably I don't know if we can take 1 or 2 calls on this, but on this LMC, dissolution, and no recognition by government. We were all here. We were all witnesses to when the IMC was formed, and then the terms of reference was given to them. You understand that this is what you are. This is what you are going to do. This is the time you are going to be there and stuff. And I think the correspondents also are from the. We have this correspondent from FIFA, signed by Jerome Champagne, the Deputy Secretary General then, and that was in December 2004, when he says that they will, the FA should make sure that the league that the league, that they should elect their members, and then who they elect should be in the FA. This was 14th of December 2004, and then it was directed to, and it was signed by, to Amos Adamu and Mustafa Fani, the CAF secretary then, and then. So I believe that if we look at what is here, was the LMC. I'm sorry, what I'm speaking in the past. Was the LMC known to Nigerian laws?
Ken, I think it's also a misnomer to actually say to say federal government. Federal government were acting based on the pronouncement of the Nigerian court, which is superior to any other pronouncement. So the Supreme Court, in the wisdom of our lordship, they've said, no, this cannot stand. So government needs to just act on the advice, on the pronouncement of the court, because the Supreme Court is infallible. Whatever the Supreme Court says is final. So whether you like it or not, you have to abide. Take the case of the Kenya presidential election, where Raila Odinga said, though he's not happy with that pronouncement, but he has to abide. So the federal government is merely acting upon the pronouncement of the court. So
is it not an interference?
From where? No, the federal government is the executive arm of government. The judiciary interpret the laws, and they've interpreted this law to say this organization cannot stand. So government will only execute what the judiciary just interpreted for accessibility.
Okay, we are closing this show because we needed to have that interview. But then on all these developing stories, we shall continue with it. There's not been EPL this week because we all know that the Queen, has gone on to meet Baba God upstairs, and that was why the EPL came out with a pronouncement and said, we are in honor of our late monarch, in honor of the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, that there won't be any sporting activity, no football. That was the statement from the...
Okay, at a meeting this morning, Premier League Plus paid tribute to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II to honor her extraordinary life and contribution to the nation, and as a mark of respect, this weekend's Premier League match round will be postponed, including Monday evening games. Further updates regarding Premier League fixtures during the period of mourning will be provided in due course.
Yes, okay. So that is why that is from the Premier League why we did not have it when there are no matches. And also I want to apologize to our fans. I know you guys like to call in our viewers to be part of this show. We want to make by next week we promise you this, that you will open the lines early. You will join the conversation. We shall still talk on this because it's a burning issue. So go nowhere. I'm Ken Ochonogo as we drop the pen. Have a very wonderful Sunday.